Hey, I'm back. So I've finally gotten this guy out of the box, and I must say that the color's beautiful. I'll go through what I like and then what I don't like in this figure. First, I think the coloring cannot be faulted. Just like any Todd McFarlane dragon, the dragon's painted in a variety of striking colors. Most obvious is the red. See the spots of red, not just on the chest but on the legs as well, and you can almost believe that serves some sort of function, either as a way to attract a mate or maybe a warning signal, such as those colorful insects might have to warn off a predator, or even a rival in love. And we have here also the contrast in black and white for the tail. Okay, look at all the various eye spots here. So you got nice contrasting colors, and just so happens that my favorite colors are black, white and red. So I like the detail on the musculature as well. I'm gonna bring this up close. So if you look, you can actually see the details of the pectoralis major, the minor, the serratus, the lats. It is almost like the artist had actually made some effort to attempt reality. It looks like I mean, if you know anatomy, it's almost like a study in comparative anatomy, where you can see that the lats perhaps in this dragon are used to power these wings for flight. So I've got nothing against I have nothing to say. The musculature's beautiful, the paint scheme's beautiful, and lastly, I like the textures. You look at the wing, look, it's got a really leathery look to it, and you can make out all these, or could be skin texture, it could be veins, could be arteries, the vasculature on the wings, and you would have to imagine that something like that would require immense blood supply. So it all makes sense, and I love this figure for these things. Now here's what I don't like. Well, first let me address the articulation issue. It's often been criticized that the McFarlane dragons have limited articulation. In fact, I would argue that they've got no articulation. Now here's what I mean. Look, the tail articulates. Yep, it turns. Alright. Now see what happens when I turn it. There is a discontinuity in the patterning, in the color, and basically what these so-called articulations are just a way to fit a dragon to a comparatively small box. So I acknowledge that, and I don't really find a problem with that. As far as I'm concerned, these are statues. I have a problem with the flame. If you look at the flame, it's actually, it looks good from the side, shape wise, but from the top it's a tiny little blade-like projection. So what you do is you put this guy in. Not sure if you can see this, there is a T-shaped indentation which corresponds with the T section on this thing, and it's hard enough to get in. Okay. And of course, while I'm shooting this, it won't go in. But really, what this means is that it looks good from the side. Looks good from the side, but from the front, there really isn't that billowing flame effect. So it really just look good only from two angles. And the color, yes, I have said that it looks very vivid. It's brilliantly colored. But if you compare this to the concept on the box, okay, it's almost like the original concept was to have these parts sort of fire up Okay, it's supposed to be a continuation. It's supposed to be red, not because of pigmentation, but because the dragon's breathing fire. So you can imagine that there's perhaps a sort of fire combustion chamber or something like that, and so it's heating up, and then finally it's flaming out, and you don't get that. And that's one constant gripe with collectors, because they're often worried that the actual product doesn't match up the original concept photos of the prototypes. So basically, I don't get the feeling that fire chambers are firing up and then fueling the flame through the mouth. But here's my biggest gripe, and that is this pole. Now, this pole is a color that makes it really, really obvious. So I put my dragon on there. Okay, and look, you might not be able to see it here, and maybe from the side it's okay, but where I really wanted to pose this dragon from the front, it sticks out like a really, really sore thumb, and it looks like the dragon's being impaled almost. And again, if you look at the original concept, see, I get the effect of the dragon swooping down on me. But because of the way the corresponding hole is oriented, you can't get the dragon like that. You've got to, that's the only position it will stay. So what this means is that from the front, this is how it's going to look like. And if you compare it to the original concept, you know, you really can tell the difference. So, well, in conclusion, do I like this? Yes. Is this my best dragon? I would definitely say no. In a way, it's unfortunate. I'm hoping to get more people interested in these dragons, and this was the very first review I did. I bought this figure sealed, so I'm actually seeing it as you are seeing it and learning about it as you are learning about it. But I have some other more spectacular dragons, and I hope to review that in time to come. So once again, that's the Series 4 Fire Dragon. And it looks great. I mean, you know, in and of itself, especially if you don't compare it to the original concept. But if you're short of space, or you really want to make sure that you're getting a good return for your $30, then perhaps this might not be the first dragon you should go for. Right, thanks for watching.